Look at your man. Now look back at me. Now back to your man. Now back to me. Is your man a liberal? Maybe he's a conservative. If he's one or both, maybe he should learn more about both. The two ideologies became present in the 19th century in Europe. The two ideologies are, in fact, polar opposites of each other. In fact, they hated each other. Not too much, save it for them now, isn't it? John Stuart Mill, one of the leaders of liberalism, said, "Conservatives are not necessarily stupid, but most stupid people are conservatives." Because of the French Revolution, people were getting the idea that they could control what happens to their government. Liberals were more drawn to the idea of a representative government. Conservatives, however, were more in favor of a traditional monarchy. So instead of these guys, it's about these guys. Most people think of the 19th century, well, they really don't know shit about the 19th century outside the American Civil War, but some significant events happened. One of the most important periods of time, not just in European history, but more in Great Britain's history, was the Industrial Revolution. No, not that.
Spit out.
Okay, so... The two ideologies were very present in the Industrial Revolution. Since the English Civil War, Great Britain at the time had become more liberal. It's in the government, in society, however, that was a different story. Liberals were the working class who worked the machines. The poor and the people in the middle class. Conservatives were the ones who owned the factories and were part of the aristocracy. The conservatives were able to buy their way to Parliament and everyone else. Well, they had to just go with the flow. Excuse me for a second, my mustache is falling off. Yeah, sorry about that. Please proceed. Let's proceed. For example, in 1815, Parliament passed the Corn Laws, where the government prohibited the import of foreign grain unless the price rose at home. Liberals were unhappy by this because they had a more laissez-faire way of thinking of it.
The only thing is laissez-faire.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, the term laissez-faire is a term often used by liberals that describes a private enterprise that government has no interference with, which is completely different from what we have currently. So the Industrial Revolution was an odd mix of liberalism and conservative ideas put into one country. But what about a group that puts both ideologies together? No, it wasn't that bad. In 1814, the Congress of Vienna was organized and convened to fix the mess of Napoleon made. It was made up of several countries, including Russia, Prussia, France, England, and Austria. It was started by the Austrian representative Prince Clemens von Metternich. Man, that kid must have gone beaten up at school with a name like that. In the Congress of Vienna, each country wanted different things. Tsar Alexander I from Russia wanted to expand Russia's territory to include Poland. Why? They wanted their sausages. His strategy was only one that only a Russian could come up with. He would ally with countries through Christian love and then drink vodka later. If that didn't work, he met with the big powers and drink vodka later. If that didn't work, he would crush them with their troops and then drink vodka later. Karl August von Hartenberg of Prussia, modern-day Germany, wanted Saxony. Instead, he got Rhineland with all the Rhines. He also got the Ruhr Valley and all the sheep. They didn't like it though. They had enough wool and Germans only eat pork. But they took what they got because Napoleon did not take it easy on Prussia. Lord Castlereagh of England was just there for the food, really. This other guy, Prince Clemens von Metternich of Austria, wanted a restoration of a legitimate monarchy. That was his main concern. He was given the job of redrawing the map of Europe, and every country he tampered with ended up in revolution, but not important right now. Finally, Charles Maurice de Talleyrand of France, the only thing they wanted was mercy for France. Because you know how revolutions go. You appoint people that shouldn't, so they just wanted space to rebuild their country. So Metternich was the president of Congress, and he wanted a restoration of the monarchy, so that's what he got. All the countries had traditional marriage, monarchies, scored 1 for conservatives. So after the Congress of Vienna ended in June of 1815, and then the revolutions of 1848 all throughout Europe, all the countries were united on their conservative ideals. After 1848, Prussia was led by one of the most famous Germans in all the world. No, not Martin Luther. We did him last semester, remember? No. We're not there yet. Get out of here. I'm talking about Otto von Bismarck. This man was the leader of Prussia. As its chief minister, he first demonstrated his power as a leader with the Austro-Prussian War. Excuse me. Where was I? Oh, yeah, right. To unite the people around Prussia. The war started with the issue of 2 provinces, Schleswig and Holstein, that was originally owned by Denmark, but were members of the German Confederation. When the Danish king tried to centralize the 2 provinces, it provided a window of opportunity for Bismarck. Prussia joined Austria in a war against Denmark. They won, but Bismarck wasn't satisfied with just those 2 territories. He wanted Austria as well, so he launched a war against Austria. And he won, and got Russia with his oncoming empire. But Bismarck was a very smart guy, so he knew he needed one more war to completely unite the territories he had. And that was the Franco-Persian War. No. Okay, better. Yes, a war with France. And in this war, France really demonstrated their skill in war. The last battle of the war is French leader Louis Napoleon was captured and the French surrendered. With the French defeated and the German Empire was formed and proclaimed. The German Empire was a very conservative state, with Bismarck as the emperor or German counselor. With Bismarck continuing his monarchy in Germany, he keeps it conservative, and now an entire empire is under conservative rules. It's starting to look pretty good, right? However, Germany was not the only country unifying itself. Italy had never been a full country yet, and it had been collective of city-states who all speak the same language, but act like separate countries. But in Congress of Vienna, Italy was reorganizing Sicily, and Sardinia had monarchs. Now see, now you're getting it. Now in Sardinia, there was a wealthy statesman who was generally liked by the government in Italy. His name was Count Camillo Benizio de Cavour. In Cavour was working to make Sardinia a liberal state. There was another man whose quest was to unify Italy. His name was, holy crap, look at that name. Okay, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name. It's G something Garboli? Garboli?
Yeah, close enough.
Garboli was an Italian super patriot who thought Italy would be better off as a liberal state. Instead of being peaceful about it, he formed a rebel group called the Red Shirts, who used guerrilla tactics. Unlike the Red Shirts of Star Trek, who just died all the time, but Cavour's quick intellect, he allied with Garibaldi because he knew that they were moving toward the same cause, and Garibaldi had already invaded Sicily and won the hearts of the Sicilian people. Now they ostracized the monarchs and united Rome, Venice, and Florence to unify Italy in a single liberal state. So long story short, conservatives, you're safe in Germany, and liberals, stay in Italy.